there, my name is Jay and I am about to start, or I am starting as of today, a carnivore elimination diet. I'm phrasing it like that because I know so many of my friends would probably freak out if I just told them I was going carnivore. So I'm telling them, if anybody asks, not that anybody really does, that I'm doing an elimination diet. I am currently not doing well physically and mentally. I'll go into more details on all of that before I finish this video, but yeah, so my carnivore is going to be beef. I do struggle a bit with beef. I don't know why. Every so often I can have a steak and it will be fantastic. Next time I try to eat one, I end up gagging and just can't do it. So beef will probably not be the main focus of my carnivore journey, at least not initially. But things like burgers are fine. I think it's just the fat content in something like a ribeye. Again, I can do it every so often, but it's not worth the nausea, the gagging, the meat aversions. Anyway, so I will do pork, mostly bacon or pork belly slices. I really like my bacon, so that's fantastic. Eggs, pretty much speaks for itself. I am including chicken and duck, just because I'm not going to be doing much in the way of beef. I'm also including salmon and possibly some tuna, just to avoid the palate fatigue that I know I will deal with otherwise. And I think that's about it. Oh, butter. So to calm the phrase, it's a triple B&E. So beef, bacon, butter, eggs, plus a bit of seafood. I don't do shellfish because I'm allergic, so it will just be tuna and salmon. So yeah, then black coffee, unsweetened, with no milk. That's not really too much of a shift for me. I'm used to drinking my coffee black, but I do normally put a tiny bit of stevia in it. So as of today, no more stevia. No more Diet Coke. I have cut that out as of today. I had been cutting it down. I was down to 1 can a day. And I say Coke, it's actually normally Pepsi. Pepsi Max with lime. So yeah, I am cold turkey on the soda front as of today. Lots of water. I'm making my own electrolyte drink, which has apple cider vinegar, salt, cream of tartar and sparkling water, just to make sure I'm having enough electrolytes. So that's basically it for what I'm going to be eating and drinking for the next month. It's 1st of August today, so I'm taking part in the challenge on Dr. Berry's community page for their August carnivore challenge, just to help keep myself accountable. And I'm going to try and do a vlog every day. There won't be any editing involved because that just takes way too much effort. About me, I am 40. I turned 40 at the end of last month. Not last month, June, end of June. And I live in a camper van. I have no family really. I'm estranged from them. Lots of reasons, which maybe I'll get into at a later date, but it's just me. I have a few friends around, but nobody who's really gonna notice if I stop eating all the crap. So touch wood, I can do it to myself. I am obviously overweight. When I went to the doctor's for an appointment last week, and I was 110 kilos, which I think is about 250 pounds. I'm only 5'5", so that's about 120-ish pounds overweight, which sucks. I used to love being active. I used to love going to the gym. I have another page called Hiking O'Hara, and I haven't really been hiking in a very long time, so I'd like to get back to those things. Physical health, let's see. I have 3 prolapse discs in my lower back, which, if I'm not active, gets worse. It took me a long time to realise this. I've had back problems since I was 13, and it took me until I was in my mid to late 20s to realise that avoiding the activity is actually making everything worse. But because I live in a van and I have no real life, I generally just sit on my arse and binge watch stuff on Netflix or YouTube or whatever. So that's my back. From the back, I also have hip issues. I get sciatica. I have nerve damage in my right shin. Basically, the front of my right shin is just numb, has been for years. I get gout in my big toes. I have a bit of an iffy neck. That's definitely a family thing. Both my dad and brother ended up having to have surgery on their necks. I'm really hoping I can avoid that. I have been under investigation for fibromyalgia because I'm just in pain all over, pretty much. This wrist, my right hand, which I am right-handed. Don't know if you can hear the clicking there. That's been an issue for the last year or so. I get headaches, insomnia, chronic sinus issues. I generally have to have my ears syringed once a year because they just get to the point where I can't hear anything. The last 6 months or so I've been getting really bad heartburn at night, which is one of the main reasons that I wanted to try carnivore. I've seen lots of people who do videos on it and say that their heartburn indigestion got 100% better, so we will see how that goes. Again, insomnia, I've struggled with insomnia most of my life. I'll go through periods where I maybe get 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night, which I know is not optimal. And then on the other side, sometimes I'll sleep for 10 to 12 hours and still feel exhausted. So fatigue is definitely an issue. I have digestive issues. I won't go into too much detail on that front, but I know there are certain things that do not work well with my digestive system. Hence why I'm doing this as an elimination diet. I'm cutting out all the veg, all the fruit, all the carbs, because I know I have some issues with those. Cutting out the dairy, with the exception of butter, because I've known for years that I had an issue with milk. I can't have milk. I can't have milkshakes. I can't have milk in my tea or coffee because that just makes me feel really, really ill. It gives me stomach cramps. So I cut out milk a long time ago. But I kind of allowed cheese to creep back in. And although I haven't noticed any direct correlation between cheese and digestive issues, who knows? So cheese is out for the next month. Mental health. Oh God, where do I even start? I was abused as a kid. Again, I'm not going into details on this video. If anybody cares or is interested, I can talk about that later on. But I have PTSD, I have depression, I have anxiety. I've struggled with all of these things since I think I was diagnosed at 11. I first went on antidepressants, and I've been on them pretty much consistently. I think I've had a few years here and there where I've been good enough to come off the meds. Then about 4.5 years ago, my life fell apart. I got separated from my husband. I ended up having a mental breakdown. I lost my job. I lost my flat. Ended up living with various friends for a few years before I could. Well, once the divorce was finalised, I could then afford to buy myself the camper van. And yeah, between everything, my depression got really bad. My anxiety got to the point where I couldn't be around people. And this is going to sound really sexist, but specifically men, I don't know. I get very anxious, can't be around people who are loud, screaming, drunk, whatever. It just triggers panic attacks. So I pretty much stay in my camper van down by the river. And yeah, beginning of June, I had a really bad spell. Ended up being seen by my local crisis team. They were seeing me every few days for about 4 weeks, because I'd started self-harming. I was cutting myself, which is not something I had ever done before, but in the moment it just let me feel something other than either being numb or just overwhelmed with despair and misery and whatnot. So yeah, I now have scars. I don't think the camera's going to pick them up, but both arms. So I'm trying to find other ways to deal with that. I was very, very much suicidal, hence why they were seeing me every few days. I really just did not want to be here anymore. I was determined that I wasn't going to make it past my 40th birthday. I had every intention of killing myself on my 40th birthday. I didn't. I am still here, and I am determined to improve. And quite frankly, that's the main reason I'm doing this elimination diet. Dr. Ken Berry has videos on carnivore and mental health, and there's been lots of anecdotal N=1 experiments, people who have gone carnivore and found that their mental health has improved. So as much as I'm looking forward to losing some weight and feeling physically better, it's my mental health that is really my driving force here. I'm 40. All being well, I could live for another 40 to 80 years. And I don't want to continue hating myself, hating my life, hating being alive. So on my birthday, I told myself I would give myself 1 year to make the changes, to try and see how it goes. If at the end of that I still hate my life and still want to die, fair enough. Deal with that when we come to it. But I am hopeful. I have hope, which I didn't think I would be saying a month ago. So we will see. Obviously it's not a miracle cure. I do have a ton of trauma, and I know no amount of diet changes are going to change that. But if they can change how I feel about it, how I cope with it, we'll see if it helps. So yeah, I think that was everything I wanted to cover in this initial intro video. As I say, today is the 1st of August. I have been for a walk. That's another part of my personal challenge. I'm going to try and walk a mile every day. Kind of overdid it today. I did 2.2 miles. But that's great. Doing more is better than not doing any. But yeah, a minimum of a mile a day. And yeah, we will see how it goes. So if you want to follow my journey, please feel free to like and subscribe. Can't guarantee that everything's going to be uploaded every day, but I'm going to try, even if it's just a 5-minute vlog at the end of the day, more to keep myself accountable. I doubt anybody's even going to watch this, but if you do, thank you very much, and I look forward to going on this journey with you. Cheers.